Chapter 2. The People and the Land. The Valley and the Plateau. The road to Dande leads due north, out of the capital, Harare. For over 300 kilometers it runs between vast white-owned farms, their huge white houses set far back out of sight behind acre upon acre of cotton, tobacco, maize. 3 times the road winds its way between communal lands, dotted with clay-walled huts and tiny fenced-off fields. Then it straightens out and flows through the white-owned farms again. 25 kilometers before the edge of the plateau, the tar surface gives out and gravel begins. The journey slows down. At the side of the road, men hover by whitewashed shops and beer halls in their faded formal clothes. Women saunter through the grass verge, children at their heels. Jam-packed buses, tractors, trucks, and donkey carts dash along or crawl between the village, the farms, the local town. Just as the road starts its descent, it makes a wide curve round the edge of the escarpment. The Zambezi Valley spreads out flat and wide, north, further north, east, west. On a clear day, the Zambezi River sparkles 130 kilometers away in Mozambique. And then the road falls 6,000 meters into Dande in fewer than 15 kilometers. For most citizens of Zimbabwe, Dande is unknown territory. It is the bush, a place of wild animals and backward people, drunkards and witches, left behind by modern times centuries ago. The people who live there and those on the edge of the plateau speak the same language and live in some respects quite similar lives, but the break is felt as sharp and critical. On the plateau, the climate is mild, the soils are fertile, though badly overworked, like all the communal lands. Here are the jobs, the markets, the centers of political power. In the valley, the heat is fierce, a remorseless 90 or 100 degrees Fahrenheit in summer before the rains come, if they come, for rain is even less reliable here than in the rest of this often drought-struck land. The soils are poor. Tsetse fly makes it impossible to keep cattle to pull plows. There are few shops, few schools, no beer halls, no jobs, no markets. The centers of power seem very far away. From the bird's eye of a geographer, Zimbabwe is divided into 4 regions. High mountains on the eastern border, Highveld and Midveld forming a vast central plateau, valleys to the north and south. But from Dande, the world appears as made up of 2 spheres, Panapa and Mugomo, this place and on the mountain. In fact, from the foot of the escarpment, only the first row of hills can be seen. But as the road runs north, the great stout haunches of the mountain rise up blunt and gray behind. And if the rains do come, the huge dark clouds seem to well up from the height of the plateau and to be forced off the edge by the wind, soaring across and down the valley sky, touching down almost to fields as they empty themselves of their rain. The people of Dande live out most of their lives on the valley floor, but the plateau and the people who live up there are never long out of their minds. 4 large rivers drain out of the plateau through the valley and into the Zambezi. In the valley, the villages cling to their banks and the banks of their tributaries. Away from these rivers and villages, Dande is wild, with pale sharp grass, dense with thin contorted trees, scattered with towering baobabs. All this is home to the buck, baboons, monkeys, wild pigs, elephants, buffaloes, birds of 100 species, and, it is rumored, lions. A few villages have boreholes and so survive away from the rivers and streams, but for most, a plot on the banks of a tributary of the Zambezi is the first essential of life.